Pod.
Rugby pod. Hello everyone, Prem is back, URC is back, and Surrey's atop of the Prem, Leinster are bottom of the URC. There's a lot to unpack on this episode, and oh my Sacha Feinberg-Mngomezulu and the Springboks. Apparently he's the new Dan Carter. Some people are saying that, not me, but it was 67 points for the Springboks against Argentina, and it's nearly, not completely, the Rugby Championship is nearly been sewn up by my Springboks. And also the Red Roses, they're on top of the world after knocking over the Savages, the amateurs from Canada at the weekend in what was, Andrew, I thought it was a good spectacle.
Wow.
The Women's World Cup final.
You were back in Canada?
Well, I was. Because I'm Scottish.
Well, it didn't work, did it? We've also got a special guest this week, the man literally behind growing the game in England. Rob Calder from Prem Rugby's Chief Growth Officer is here to talk us through dropping the era-ship. Do you get it? Prem era-ship.
Yeah, they dropped it,
Yeah, drop that. And all the other plans, leaning into the physicality and the intensity, brutal side of the game.
Alrighty.
So looking forward to chatting to him to find out, where's the money?
Who's got the money?
So settle back, enjoy, and make sure you've subscribed on Spotify.
Attaboy. This episode is presented by Ford and the new Ford Ranger plug-in hybrid, the first plug-in hybrid pickup in the UK, which can run up to 26 miles on pure electric power, meaning zero emissions whilst driving.
It's perfect for the quieter drives or sneaking off to training without waking the neighbours.
The new Ford Ranger plug-in hybrid, more power. Just in case, order before the end of December and get a free home charger included. Search Ford Ranger plug-in hybrid or visit ford.co.uk for more information.
Good weekend, lads. How was the tune? Did you go and visit my statue, James?
We didn't see a statue
it's
of you. It was in and it was out. So I took Rob. I say I took Rob, even though it's his home stadium. But Rob went up the stairs instead of just across to the terraces. I took him up to the posh seats.
Well, I had this chat with him off air. I said, but you're hobnobbing it in the corporate hospitality with all the bigwigs. He's like, well, there's some bigwigs there. He said, but basically it's pie and chips. It wasn't really hospitality.
No, that was Newcastle hospitality. That was as good as it got. I told Rob, he came underdressed. You didn't wear what I told you to wear.
Yeah, the arsehole told me it was like black tie.
Yeah.
So I started panicking, thinking I was going to have to get a black suit.
And what did you wear?
Jeans and a t-shirt.
There you go. And what did James wear? Birkenstocks?
Black jeans and a black t-shirt.
Yeah, I did. I had my Das Booties on.
Oh, yeah, Das Booty scoots and some.
But it was good. It was that is the first time I've ever watched a game of rugby with Rob.
And what was he like?
Just shouting abuse.
Oh, he's one of them.
Catch it. Why is he not catching it?
He's one of them.
Why is he not tackling it?
I'd have got that kick. I'd have scored that.
I was like, Rob,
mate.
hang on, mate. What's going on? You were like that, weren't you? You apologised to me a couple of times.
Right, you just lashing out because you rocked up in that shit brown Jeep. That's what it was, and people were laughing at him when he pulled up.
No, people were looking at me being like, holy smokes.
No, I bet they were. I've seen that, Jim.
See, Rob's gone straight into deflect mode. He is like your armchair rugby fan.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not that emotional either way. I just want to see a good game of rugby, and I was very happy to be in the director's box with Rob.
The director's box. It's some fucking seats, lads.
I'll tell you what was good though. So not to keep talking about us for ages. Steve Diamond before the game came up and spoke in the room, didn't he? How cool was that? Like he's
good bloke, Dimes.
Well, he's a man of the people.
Yeah.
And
what's he doing in the hobnobbing with all the bigwigs?
Well, he's doing a Q&A to the partners.
If he's man of the people, he should be in the North Stand chopping pints.
He probably was.
Yeah,
he's probably doing that as well.
He did that on the way round.
We weren't there though. We weren't in them seats, Andrew. We were in the director's
It's the
box.
South Stand there, isn't it? What's the South Stand's the big one there, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was good. It was sold out. It had a Red Bull feel to it.
They actually sell all the tickets?
I don't know if they sold all of them. It doesn't matter. Does it matter?
Well, if you're saying sold out, yeah, it does.
Okay, well, sold out. It could have been £1 a ticket. It could have been £5 a ticket.
Could have been a load of freebies to the students.
But it doesn't matter. There was a lot of students there. You know what? There was a good vibe.
Yeah, there always is. It's always a young crowd at the Kingston Park.
Yeah, so there's normally 4 people. Hang on, Rob, there's a good vibe of 4 people.
Not when I was playing there, in the good days.
I know. It was great to see, genuinely. So to be there, and Saracens went almost fully loaded, and Newcastle gave them a decent ding-dong for 20-30 minutes. They did. Physically, they had a kind of clear game plan. They had a backbone, which you'd expect under Steve Diamond, and just lacked quality when it comes to attack. But the whole thing around it, I will say again, Newcastle was a brilliant city.
It is. Tell me, like, part of the rugby, We'll get into that in a bit. Tell me you did what I'd do and got out in the Toon.
Yeah, I got loose.
Did you?
No.
Did you get back in the car and drive straight back to Edinburgh?
Twins' birthday on the Saturday. It's what I do. 3 hours there, 3 hours back, and I was there shouting at the kids on Saturday.
Yeah, nice.
So, we missed you, Andrew, because how weird's that? As I'm going south, how things have changed. You were going north.
Yeah, up to Glasgow. I'm disappointed in myself this weekend. I'm not going to lie. Did a job on Friday night up at Glasgow against the Sharks on Premier Sports, but just disappointed in myself. I didn't.
4 a.m.
I didn't
was
know.
it this time?
No, I didn't unleash. I had two.
Three?
I had 2 pints in the hotel,
I don't believe you.
and I got a 7:30 flight home. I did a Jim Hamilton. I basically did a Jim Hamilton.
And do you feel better for it?
No, I was still knackered on Saturday.
It's a different knackered, though.
I was up at 6. What time was I? At 6:15. I set my alarm to fly back at 7:30 because I was staying at the airport. And I thought that's a waste of an eevening just lying in bed.
That has given you, genuinely, an extra 6 months on your life.
I'm just disappointed in myself. I didn't see the 4 o'clock finish that I was after. There's no one was keen. No one was keen.
Wilson not keen for a pint?
No, he was hungover from the day before. No. So, it's one of them where you just go back to your hotel room and you're lying in bed.
I do know.
Yeah. I'm thinking, what's out there? What is out there? What could I be
missing
doing?
out.
Yeah. I felt like I missed out.
I can tell you what's out there.
What?
There's a few demons out there.
Is there?
There is a few Scottish dragons.
For who?
That are looking for you.
Oh, really?
That's all I'm hearing. That's all I have
no.
heard.
Anyway, I did the right thing. I flew home at 7:30 and I took the twins to gymnastics like a good dad.
But we do need to shout out the Red Roses, the world champion Red Roses.
We do, yeah. It was decent.
You can't believe you didn't back us English.
Yeah, I just went against it. It was...
Why do you hate England so much?
I don't. It was just been too easy for them, so I just wanted to give them a little bit of stick in the lead up.
I did see a stat. They've won 63 out of their last 64 games.
If they would have lost, it would have been a travesty. But we need to give Ellie Kildun and Jess Breach, who do our sister show, the Rugby Rodeo, a big shout. Ellie especially.
Wheels.
She's a great athlete. I interviewed her a couple of years ago. She's a good one. And yeah, it's been brilliant to see her, I suppose, back up, which we all thought was there for her to do in the platform. She got injured in the quarterfinal and was unsure whether or not she would have played semi because she got a head knock. But it was great to see her unleash and show some athletic capabilities, which is what you want to see in elite sport. So this is a foundation for the women's team now. They've been given a huge opportunity. Let's say that. It's been great. Mainstream media, TV, social media platforms, collaborations, and they'll go and kick on now. And it's good to see. And hopefully we can just be positive about it. We can integrate and we can sit here and talk about it however we want, which is great.
What the women's game needs, though, is the other teams to catch up and invest.
Well, that's the elephant in the room, and that's kind of what I said there. Like, that's the facts of it are, I mean...
Because to make it interesting, like, it's great the women won it, head and shoulders above every other team, but for that competition to stay competitive and be competitive in the future, other countries either need to invest or say why they're not investing.
Well, it's elite level sport, isn't it? So a World Cup, you need 2 teams that are professional to compete in a final and not make it one-sided. But now the proof is in the pudding commercially, isn't it? Because we talk about the game not in a good place in other parts to it. English rugby and women's rugby have been given a foundations now, been given a global platform, even Canada over there. If they're looking at the optics of the women's game, the fact that their team made the final, the proof is literally in the pudding of investment. So if people want to invest, if commercial partners want to invest, then naturally the athletes will become more and more out of it because they've training full time. It's an obvious equation to happen. So, but positive for the Red Roses and positive for our girls who do the sister show, the Rugby Rodeo.
Well, I had the Red Roses on one TV. I was on my mate's house, and then we had the South Africa game on the other TV. That was a hell of a game.
Who's got 2 TVs in the same room?
Well, they're both stolen.
You mean one was on the phone and one was on the iPad?
Correct.
Yeah, hell of a ding dong that. The first half especially. Sacha Feinberg-Mngomezulu.
Wait there. Say it.
Sacha FM.
Sacha FM, that's a good shout.
SFM, we're just shortening it.
SFM. Go on.
SFM, yeah.
Say it. So if you're now, say it quickly. Go.
SFM.
Right, you won't do it.
No. He's like a politician won't answer.
Feinberg-Mngomezulu.
Yay! There we go. That's why you can take a pause and you can be like, it's a hard one to say, Mark Nwanga to say.
Oh, you got that down.
Oh, I have, yeah, nailed it. Anyway.
He's coming back, isn't he?
Yeah, he's coming back, which is great. Yeah, I mean, it's Australian Rugby Fair Play is back.
Well, here's one for you. Australia under 18s smashed New Zealand schoolboys 81-47 or something.
Genuine?
Yeah, at the weekend. I was like, go on the lads.
That's what's coming through. It's
'Cause
as quickly as that.
How strong is New Zealand rugby, schools rugby specifically, normally? You know, you see the clips on social media and they've got beasts left, right and centre. They're all doing the hacker and it looks frightening. And Australia wouldn't necessarily have a lot to write home about at under 18s in terms of what's gone on over the last however many years. And they smashed them, 81-47, give or take. Where are we going? Are we going Sacha? Are we going Springboks against Argentina? Are we talking about Cheslin Colby, part of a Asian betting syndicate, to give away a try like that? Or are we going to talk about the Bledisloe?
I think we go early on Sacha Feinberg-Mngomezulu.
Ridiculous.
Because Andre Pollard is coming to the end of his career. And
why are you retiring him?
I did the same with Willie LaRue 5 years ago. Okay, Andre, just get a kick now. He's been home, but they're looking for the next 10. And Manny Lebok, I've been a fan of Manny Lebok, but
hell of a finish at the end by Manny Lebok.
He was wicked when he came on, so it was a game for the 10s. And my point is, when I say but, there's been a few question marks over him. Gets dropped in the World Cup in was it the semi?
Yeah, they hooked him off early, didn't they?
Yes.
Pollard on,
they brought Pollard on, who wasn't in the World Cup squad at the start, and is
that was
kicking
injury
off the
based,
tee.
though, wasn't it?
Yeah, Malcolm Marx.
Malcolm Marx.
Yeah,
But with Manny Lebok, it was a question of when does Andre come on, and he came on a lot earlier. So there's been a few question marks over Manny Lebok, and you're right, he was brilliant when he came on.
He dusted up the All Blacks the week before.
But now they've got 2 10s that are competing.
3 10s, James.
What? 2 10s.
Are you fully retired Andre Pollard?
2 10s to come through when Andre Pollard hangs up the slippers.
Yeah. Andre's still a major option for him. And he's still a brilliant player, I think. You can't write him off at all. And this is the big thing about the evolution of a team and what I spoke about a couple of weeks ago, that your Springbok fans, James, came back at me and were like, he doesn't know what he's talking about. When you've got a lot of senior players, and Andre is one of those senior players who are getting towards the end of their career. I'm not saying they're at the end, they're getting towards it. There's 2 years still to go for the World Cup, right? And he's obviously got loads of options now in Sacha Feinberg-Mngomezulu, Manny Lebok and Andre Pollard as 3 world-class options. And there's probably another 3 or 4 other lads as well. Hendrickse, you could play other people there. I know Willie LaRue's stepped in a few games, hasn't he? So, but not as front line. But you know what I mean? He's got so many options, and that is a great thing to have. But also, how do you balance that? And Jim's just balanced it by retiring Andre Pollard, South Africa's greatest ever fly half. You've just sent him to pasture.
But what South Africa don't want to happen is what happened to Ireland at the World Cup, where they went all in on Johnny Sexton and they didn't give anyone else really a proper go. Like Jack Crowley, Sam Prendergast, I know, came through after, and they went all in, and that is, you could say, is what bit them in that quarter-final game, because Johnny looked fucked.
They all did.
Well, I know, but the 10 being the position. And if you get to a World Cup in Australia, and we know Andre Pollard is world class, and if he's fit, will be one of the best 10s in the world till he's probably 50. Because South Africans, but now's the time, and that's what South Africa do so well: is their blood players to come through. And there's been a few buts around Manny Lebok, not from me, from people in South Africa and from the experts. And seeing Sacha come on at the weekend, and it was an all-court performance, and he would just look balanced. He looked quick. His kicking was on point.
Mate, some of the skills, the little grubber that he puts through.
Yeah.
His handling is. What about the dummy? The audacious dummy for his 3rd try. He's at scrum half at that point.
Has he done Montoya there? Is he? I think he was at.
But it was the complete performance by him. 37 points, South African record. He just looks so classy. What about the wheels on him as well? So when he's put the kick through, I can't remember if it was his 1st or 2nd try, but the kick through that he's going for the 50-22, and you're thinking that's just going to set up for Kane and Moody. And oh no, Sacha Feinberg-Mngomezulu wheels his Kane and Moody, who's a winger 13 with wheels, and just skins him.
I'm having this.
Yeah, he's like, fuck you, that's mine. So it was the complete performance. And you probably look at people are saying he's the new Dan Carter.
Big shout.
It is a massive shout. Dan Carter had a complete performance against the British and Irish Lions in 2005, like dreamy, scoring tries, little kicks that were coming back to him, just so much time on the ball. And Sacha looks like he's got... I judge players, especially fly halves, on how they look in terms of time on the ball, decision making. Do they get flustered? How many times they make the right decision, or you don't see him make many bad decisions. At the weekend, it was like he was playing in slippers with his cigar, and he could do what he wanted when he wanted, and he was brilliant. And I think he's a wicked option for him, whether he's first choice or you go back to Andre Pollard and play a different sort of ball game. But that all-court game that South Africa played at the weekend, especially in the second half. Now, they made a few errors in the first half, didn't they? And at half-time, they were right in it. 2
points at half-time.
Yeah. And they scored, Springbok scored just before half-time when they'd gone down to 14 men because Malcolm Marks was in the bin for the illegal entry into the driving maul. And it was, that second half just blew them to bits. They won the second half 42-7. It wasn't even altitude. You can't even blame the altitude. It's in Durban, right next to the sea. My lungs! It just wasn't your lungs. Yeah,
Lovely spot. Big shout out to Ethan Hooker as well on the left wing, playing in Durban. Brilliant. And you speak to people at Sharks, and my mate Mike and the owner, they've been talking him up for the last couple of years. Cool looking athlete. He's got everything. A tough position as well. And there's a lot of responsibility, I know, in all the positions, but the wing especially.
The options they've got there now on the wing.
The options, and also the players that have gone before, but just how reliant South Africa are on their wingers being able to do everything, and how hard they need to work, not just in attack, but in defence as well, with them coming up and having to scramble back.
Cheslin Colby's
talking of wingers.
Brain fart.
Do you think with that, he's
been paid a bit of money to do that?
I can't believe the hate he's getting.
It's not hate, it's funny, isn't it?
I know. Well, I know it's funny, but anyway, it's a talking point.
Yeah.
People trying to bring down the greatest player in the world.
He ain't got a mortgage anymore, has he? No, he's done that. I'm joking.
It's all right, and he made up for it as well. He's probably can do another 20 of them, and then he'll be out of credit. But he is as far in credit with South Africa and with rugby that he could do that another 20 times.
Best player in the world.
Did you watch the All Blacks Australia in the morning as well? That was a hell of a game.
It was. And Australia gave up a bit of a lead to start off with, didn't they? New Zealand looked good. What about the start, though, with Caleb Clark? You see that? His dad singing the anthem. And he didn't know. He didn't know his dad was singing the anthem, which was wicked.
I love all that stuff. You know I'm a big softie. I'm a big fan of Caleb Clark as well. And you know what? Again, I'll be honest, forgot his dad played for the All Blacks. You've got to go back deep into history, and you see the embrace that they had after.
It worked as well because he scored after 3 minutes, didn't he?
You know the comparison with Jonah Lomu?
It does look like
it does. It does. Yeah. You can't get away from it. I'm a massive fan of Caleb Clark. Yeah. But I'm saying, but there's just so many good back three players for New Zealand. But to see that there, I was having this chat, right? So you've got South Africa, you've got New Zealand, and these two are probably the most famous teams in the world of rugby, and because of the amount of World Cups that they've won and the quality of players of years gone by. But the All Blacks, there is something special about them. The Barrett boys, the Haka, some of the greatest players you've seen, some of the touch points like that with Caleb Clark and his dad at the weekend, so former All Blacks. I know you see a few come through whose dads have played for their country and they come through, but you don't see that. You don't see the dad singing the anthem and make it sound as fucking cool as that. Yeah. And your lad doesn't know. Yeah. And then you've got Taika Waititi pitch side coming on. You've got the NRL lads. You've got the basketballers from NBA and Steve Adams. You've got Jason Momoa. Like, they're just cool. Yeah. They're just a cool team, the All Blacks.
You mentioned names as well, and father-son combos. Leroy Carter. I know he's no relation to Dan Carter, but you might as well just call him Dan Carter's son. He was wicked on the wing. It's only his second cap. He's come out the Sevens circuit as well, and he was ridiculous. Cam Roygaard at 9 as well.
Big fan of him.
Needs a shout out. He's come back from injury. He was brilliant. And the All Blacks had 2 errors. Australia fought back pretty well, actually. And they just made a few too many errors. James O'Connor made a couple of errors, missing a few touch kicks and all that stuff. I mean, still can't get my head around. He had to fly back to England to go to Leicester for a day and then get back on the plane.
Well, Joe Smith said he had to take his dog over. I mean, that's commitment.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
You must love your dog.
Just leave it. Yeah, just leave the dog.
Send it on its own.
We'll sort him out in a bit.
Yeah.
It's like Lewis Hamilton loves his dog. Maybe it's the same thing.
I love my dog.
But yeah, I love dogs, but not as much as Lewis Hamilton and James O'Connor, clearly.
Well, the Prem was back, lads. And you boys started it off up in Newcastle on Friday.
Started on Thursday. Started on Thursday.
I like that. I like coming in from training and then having a game to watch.
Rob, did you train on Thursday?
I did, lads. Yeah, I had the boats out. Yeah.
What training did you do?
Stockton.
Oh, is that
He's
why you went
back
to
now.
Kingston Park on Friday and said I could have done that?
With all my stash on as well. Yeah.
Oh, what an idiot.
Mate.
I catch the ball with two
Oh,
hands.
man, we're not tackling. Oh, he didn't tackle. I was like, yeah, he didn't tackle because Andy Christie's running at 500 miles an hour.
You know what Jim was doing? Jim was doing that. Oh, he's going to pass it to the back man or the proper line out nose.
Well,
I've
that's
never
his-
heard anything like it.
that's
Was
his
I right?
area
Was I right?
Oh yeah, but he was like, oh, back
that's
in my
his
day we
area.
used to call this the
Zip.
Oh,
We used to call it
Expertise. That
And there
was
we
your.
go. We're proper armchair guys, but that's what we did. So we watched the game on Thursday.
A good game as well. George Ford, excellent for sale. Chucking C's out left, right, and centre. Roebuck, Carpenter played well. Sale looked good. And as I said last week, that they're going to be right in the mix, I reckon. Gloucester showed some good parts as well, but then Thursday night up in Manny, it's a tough place to go. So Sale started well. They're going to get better throughout the year with the players they're going to get back as well. A good crop of young English talent there, which I like.
Yeah.
And some South Africans and a couple of Scots as well. So, mate, Sale were good.
I thought Ben Loader looked decent on the wing. Spoke to my mate about it. He begged to differ, but I
Okay,
thought
so
physically.
I'll question you on that, James.
Yes, I've had a few people.
In parts, he did.
Defensively looked very good.
What about when they've put the kick through?
Absolutely buggered, mate.
Mate, I don't get you're a winger. That's your try.
Yeah, I understand
He's
that.
walking.
Yeah, this is where you're defending like that, and there was a couple of other instances on
Mate,
other
he ain't-
teams
he ain't
where
do- he ain't
a lot
do-
of teams.
He hadn't done enough to not chase that kick. I'm sorry. You think of every winger.
I
in
was
the
trying
Prem.
to speak positively about
Yeah, you
someone.
were.
Okay,
I know. I mean, he looked great, but he can't run after a kick when there's a try on offer.
Okay, we'll
Which
drop
sounds
him.
a bit harsh.
Drop him then.
No,
Yeah,
not
that's
sorry.
okay.
But if you're the coach, you're like that. Hold on a minute. You think of Christian Wade, or you think of Henry Arundel, you think of Ibatoye, you think of Lewis Rees-Zammit, you think of any winger, Radwan, Hassel Collins, they're getting that ball scoring. You got one shot, go get it, and don't jog. A second row's outran him.
I was just trying to be positive, Andrew,
Okay.
about some of Gloucester signings.
Yeah.
It's been limited recruitment.
You know what I took from the weekend?
All gone then.
How deep are Bath? You see the list of players that weren't playing for them this weekend, and they're still scary.
Yeah. Do you know what was impressive at the weekend? And yes, they scored a couple of nice tries as well. Didn't they get like 5 pick and go tries on the spin just from power, which is what we've not necessarily associated with Bath to go on and win the Prem last year. It's all been about great structure and attack. Lee Blackett has had a massive impact on that. Finn Russell show. You talk about some of the other players. You're always generally talking about the backs. And ultimately, they've blitzed Quins on the pick and go, the power game. Quins got out to a fly, didn't they? Will Evans scores hat-trick, giving it the 3. Do you see he gave it the 3 when he's scored
There's a
his
few
third?
more celebrations coming in
Yeah.
now. They're all like, I want to be famous.
I want to be Henry Pollock.
Yeah.
Which is good. But not when you nearly take 50 at home. But yeah, Bath are good. Like we've said, the depth of their squad, they had no Finn Russell, no Santi Carreras at
No
10.
Thomas Dutoit.
Yeah.
Will Stewart.
Yeah, that's what you start naming these players their best players.
Yeah. The mental squad. Ted Hill was on the bench, wasn't he? It was they've got a proper squad, and they're big favourites. The pressure is on them to back it up. But there's a few teams sniffing now. Sarries look good.
Yeah, we
Do you
did.
reckon Bath are the first English team since Sarries that have got the depth that can do Europe, EPCR and the Prem?
They haven't got as much depth as we did. Imagine bringing off Will Skelton and putting on Jim Hamilton, with a George Cruz, and then moving Marrow to 6, and you've got Scout Berger, you've got a Scout Brits. Just went unnoticed.
Because you got on in the last minute when it was already won, right?
But the Champions Cup, in answer to that question, they've got a squad that can get them, I think, to the semis. And then, as we all know, it's a one-off game.
Yeah.
And we saw that with Northampton and Leinster. And then if Bath can get a full squad of players, you can get Ollie Lawrence back to where he was before. You've got a Carreras in there as well, whether or not he's on the bench or he's starting. You've got Thomas Toy as tight head for South Africa with a Will Stewart or vice versa starting on the bench. They've got some proper talent now. You've got Cam Redpath, mentioned a Joe Moo. You've got Joe Thokonasinga as well, Will Muir.
Yeah.
So here we go.
All the back rows.
You've got any back row that you want to put on there.
Yeah.
So they get everyone fit, then they're in a decent spot.
100% they've got a chance. So have, but then we talked through Sarri's squad last week, didn't we? And the players that they've got there now and who's coming back and everything. I know they had a tough year last year. I generally think that, and it's like Jim said, if you can get to a semi-final on their day, I think Bath, Sarries, Northampton and Sale with those, potentially Bristol on a danger day, they could all go deep into the competition and they'll fancy themselves. I'm not saying they're favourites by any means, but on paper, if you can get your first team to a quarter, semi, whatever it is in Europe, you've got a chance.
And there we go. You think about, I've not even mentioned Ben Spencer and Finn Russell as well. But they've done it the way in which you get to a final, you lose, you do it again, you win. And then the next stage for them is
I wonder
Champions
what would be
Cup.
more important to them, going back to back in the Prem to start to build a legacy, or we ain't bothered about not bothered. We'd rather win the Champions Cup than the Prem.
Easy answer for me.
Champions Cup.
Yeah.
But not when it's one of those questions to a Bath fan. Yeah, I understand that, but you ain't won anything until last year.
Imagine
for
Bath
17
beating
years.
Toulouse.
Oh, it'd be wicked
in the final.
Yeah, it'd be wicked. I'd love to see it. Even as a Leicester boy, he'd love to see it. But
Do Bath need corporate hospitality at their new stadium or something?
hey, congratulations! It's good news that though for Bath because it's an absolute dump. Sometimes when you get down there, those fans on that far side are getting pished on.
I used to get rinsed at Bath.
Yeah, did you?
Absolutely abused. Yeah, loved it.
You mentioned Bristol there, Goode.
Yep.
They're going to struggle with some of these injuries, aren't they?
Yeah, I
That
mean,
wasn't good to see.
No, but then when they started talking about who they had on the bench to replace Ibitoye comes off, Ravuvu comes on. He's a sick player. Tom Jordan's a great signing, as you saw, man of the match. The horrible injuries to AJ McGinty, which is really sad. Achilles gone.
Another Achilles for a back.
Yeah, and
George
it was
Ford, 2 years ago, Ollie
so
Lawrence.
innocuous as well. The way he was just on the defensive line, just trying to get off the defensive line, and it gone. Ibitoye's looked bad as well, actually, and it was like hamstring. But the way he went down, I reckon that's sort of serious knee hamstring. Whereas if you're Emmanuel Faye-Boso, you just run in with a torn hammy anyway and just still wheels everyone. But yeah, I mean, 3 big injuries. Harry Randall as well jumped over someone at the breakdown and planted his leg and his hammy went ding.
This is the thing we're starting to see now with how much better the athletes are, how finely tuned they are coming into the teams and younger and wanting to be quicker and more powerful. We're seeing more injuries. You get more injuries now, and that is what it is. And that's where then the question comes: well, how many games? Like chopping and changing in between tournaments, or how does all that unfold? Because Bristol, if you're Pat Lam and you've got these unbelievable athletes, and clearly they've been working on forward play because their pick and go was better, their line-out drive was better against Leicester at the weekend, and that's just to close this one off with Bristol. You watched Lewis Rees-Zammit in full flight for his try, and he looked brilliant.
Cruisy. He was cruising as well, wasn't he?
But when you've got a player who is that quick, how's he playing 25 games a year?
I thought about this at the weekend, right?
At that speed and that conditioned.
Everyone's talking about, the players play too much. There's 18 Prem games, and you're only guaranteed 4 Champions Cup games.
For Bristol as well, so he might play 2.
In the pool.
5 Six Nations games.
Yeah, but you're not playing every Prem game because you have to have rest periods. I don't think that. I'm not having it. I don't think they play enough.
No, the English
play
lads.
More.
The English lads will have time off through the agreement
but
they've got.
Pat Lam will look after him.
If Lewis Rees-Zammit is fit, is he their marquee? I don't even know if that came out. They didn't.
No, he's not
say
their marquee,
he's not their marquee. No.
Can I know who is their marquee?
I don't think they've officially got one.
But anyway, Lewis Rees-Zammit, he ain't playing 25 games doing that week in, week out when you're that finitude. Hopefully he does, and I'll be proven wrong. And if he does, is he going to do that again next year and next year and next year? Anyway, he looked fucking amazing when he was running down the wing.
Lads. Anyone listening, proof's in the pudding. Get yourself on the podcast. You score tries.
And I will say this, I feel bad for Bristol because the way that they were playing, they were looking like they could be a top 4 team. But without AJ McGinty, because you don't want to put Tom Jordan at 10. Yes, he can play 10, and he was brilliant as man of the match, but he's a 15.
Yeah. Is he?
Centre.
Is he?
What do you think he is? You think he's a 10?
10-12 I like him as.
All right, cool.
So he'll fit into that. But Bristol were helped massively. Leicester's bus driver took he took 2 wrong turnings.
I did not know that.
Would not have happened. They turned up
True
45
story?
minutes late. Yeah. Turn up 45 minutes late.
And then no one pisses in our pot, quick speech, and they're out.
Exactly. Toenail, our old bus driver, Toenail.
God rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Toenail, the best bus driver there ever
He
was.
was
at Leicester
loose.
Tigers.
He was happy to get piss thrown on. Like, as in alcohol. Didn't flinch.
He wouldn't have done that. He wouldn't have taken 2 wrong turnings.
Toenail was driving barefoot because someone robbed his shoes and threw him out the window. And he loved it.
Yeah. But in their defence, if you've ever driven to Bristol and know where to park, it is like sat-nav takes you one way. You don't need to go that way. You need to go a completely different way. So
9 games.
Leicester turned up 45 minutes late, but started well and then just shot the bolt.
Game of the weekend, though, was yesterday for me. Exeter Saints.
So Rob Baxter weren't happy.
Not half time. Whatever he said at half time's worked.
Well, he said it on TNT, didn't he? He kind of opened them up. And when you're watching it, you're like, oh gosh, here we go. But there you go. There's a heartbeat in Exeter.
Yeah, they found their way
with
back.
some good players to come back into the team.
Ross
for them.
Vincent played well, didn't he? Wicked try. I thought about you when I saw the line-out play. Because he just goes through the middle of the line-out, doesn't it? Would you have thought of something like that?
They were generally, they probably got it from me back in the day.
From Jim's playbook.
I'll be honest.
But yeah, I mean, nightmare first half, and Saints looked very good, didn't they? Accurate. Their attacking game was on point. But then, I don't know, whatever both coaches have said at half time, Rob Baxter has completely worked. And Phil Dowson and Sam Vesti, what have you said? Because they didn't score a point in the second half, Saints. And then couldn't win it with an extra number as well, because obviously Josh Hodge gets sent off. I ain't having this 20-minute red card thing. Ridiculous.
What did you think of the one at Newcastle?
Mate, he has... So Nathan Michelot, I know he's a young kid. How old is he? 20?
Yeah, he's young.
Yeah. That's a straight red every day of the week. He has lifted him, tipped him, and slammed him onto his neck. Mate, that is the worst tackle.
Take out the Sarri's bias.
There's no Sarri's bias here.
No,
if that was any
my
player,
bias to disagree with you.
Yeah. Mate, that is the worst tackle I've seen in years, without a shadow of a doubt. That's a straight red card.
What did I say?
I can't remember. It had 10 points by then.
I said red card. I said for me, it was a red card.
But the red card is now obsolete because...
Which I forgot.
Yeah, there's now a 20-minute red and a red card. And a red card is just for deliberate acts or intentional acts.
Yeah.
Like punching, kicking, biting. No one's doing that anymore, so there's no point having a red card. That 20-minute red card for Michelot on Friday night, you know, I think it's a disgraceful decision by the refs and the TMO. It's a full red card, that is. Because George McGuigan could have broken his neck. He landed full on his neck and head.
Yeah, but if it was a one-on-one tackle, right?
Mate,
how many times have you been in that position?
A couple.
I was in them positions all the time when there's chaos and there's carnage and like you putting in a tackle. I don't even know who was around him, but there was multiple bodies.
Yeah, but
he's hooked it. But you see people hooking, and
he's hooked and he's gone up and then he's slammed him into the floor.
He's not slammed in the momentum of it all.
Nah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we agree to, but this is the thing around.
I agree, it's a red card.
Yeah, the
But it's a 20-minute red card.
Yeah, but the 20-minute red card I think is a joke.
Yeah.
I think it should be absolutely binned off. A 20-minute red card should be for something that is head contact but no force, because there's no deterrent for changing behaviours now. But that red card should have been a full red, I think, on Friday night.
Okay, positive though, Owen Farrell was back.
Oh, mate, how good was he?
How bad was it when he broke his nose? And he was in a lot of pain.
Was he?
He was fucked.
Worried on, though.
He worried on. He was fucking down.
Tell me how it happened again.
You never know. Never got a replay. That's what we said. So it was in the tackle.
Yeah.
Never got a replay. So that was one negative from there.
He can't hit with his shoulder then like he used to.
Well, I think he's gone low. I think he's been.
He won't be doing that again. The shoulder boy will be back. Shoulder boy.
Well, I said he's going to go high now because he's broken his nose, but it was good to see him back.
Has he put a load of timber on?
He looks like he's put
massive.
it looks like he's big.
That is what I said to him when I saw him at the golf. We had a chat at the BMW Pro-Am. I was like, fucking hell, you've put a bit on.
What did he say?
As in his upper body. I'm not talking about me putting a bit on, how I do it.
What did you say?
I said, fucking hell, you fucking stacked
What
up.
did he say?
He's like, fucking hardcore, fucking in gym all the time.
No,
French croissants.
He looked good.
Yeah, mate, wicked to have him back in the Prem. Play well. What about, we need to call out a couple of other kids as well. Noah Calori.
Noah Calori.
What
Remember the name?
a start
Unbelievable.
to the career off the bench.
Yeah.
Size of the kid.
Yeah.
He's 14.
He's brilliant. Really,
about
really
14.
Good. Yeah.
And he gets a bit of luck. You make your own luck sometimes. He gets a bit of luck with the bounce and all that stuff. But what an athlete.
Yeah.
Where are these kids? I went to Sarries the other day, actually. Talk about Saracens. I went to their under-14 academy session to watch my son's mate who's in it.
There you go.
And I'm looking at the kids, right? And this reminded me, obviously, because we're talking about Noah Calori. I'm looking at the kids, and halfway through the session, I'm like, I wouldn't tackle him. He's massive. And then one of the dads said to me, he goes, this is just the backs. I'm like, you fucking what?
Yeah, they've got some wicked players. They've got some really good players
Kids
coming
now are
through.
massive.
And Noah Calori's come through the system there.
Yeah.
Brilliant finish. You talk about celebrations. I was praying
Don't drop it.
that you dive. I was praying that he dived, and he dived. And I was like, there you go.
So it was the ash splash.
there's the money
and
shot.
He was really a Sarries winger, wasn't he?
He was high, though.
He was higher than Ashy. But what are we calling it?
The calamari.
No, that's not cool.
Yeah, I like that. The
Yeah.
Noah Calamari. The Calamari.
Noah's Ark.
Noah's Ark.
There you go. Hell of a finish. But yeah, good for Sarries. Newcastle, it's going to be a long season.
What about them posting crushing Red Bull cans on socials as well? That pissed me off.
Yeah, I signed
Why
it off.
did it piss you off?
Well, have some respect, lads. Come on.
Nah, it's
You've
just
come
a
to
bit-
the home of the Red Bulls and you've been lucky to walk away with a win. Don't be crushing the cans.
You've been lucky to walk.
What are
Lucky.
you on about?
Oh, yeah, it was close, wasn't it?
It was a hard-earned victory, and I signed it off. I signed off the crush of the can.
Well, we've talked about some big games, Jim, but there's no bigger game than this weekend coming up. Where is it? What's happening? We have got an absolute corker.
Yes, Andrew.
What's the big game, James?
Oundle are coming to town.
Well, it's not Scottish.
Oh, yeah, I know. Oundle are coming to town. They're coming to Rugby Town. They are. The paid Oundle RFC. I'm
They are
hearing
paid,
rumours
yeah.
that they're paid. Big Dean Hamilton
Paid.
told me, he's playing in the front row for rugby, that he ain't happy that these lads are getting paid.
And I'll tell you now, Rugby Lions, Rugby FC, Camden Town Rugby, sponsored by the Rugby Pod and Camden Town. We won at the weekend, lads. We had a win.
And, well, it's brewing.
It is
See what
starting.
I've done there. It is brewing.
Yeah, I'm pumped for the game. We've got big Scotty Quinnell coming to give a team talk. We're going to do a live show. He's going to tell some stories. We've made a mega signing as well. Former European Player of the Year, James Hamilton. Is that you?
No.
Are you playing?
No, because he's English, this
Oh, okay.
person.
Yeah. But we've got a superstar with a similar name to one of us who might be entering the field for Rugby Lions.
Well, there's no Hamiltons that are greats apart from my good self, but there are a few Goode. Anyway, we won't, but he's going to be carving up. Like you mentioned, we're going to be doing a live show after the game. And all of that to watch the lads play and the superstar play, and for Scott Quinnell to see that fucking dragon. It's going to be for £5, which is going to be a donation to the club. And for that £5, you get a free pint of Camden House. And we need to thank Camden House.
Ticket to our live show. But it's all made and brought about by Camden Town Brewery sponsoring rugby. Grassroots rugby.
They're
but
saving rugby. Yeah, they're
Just basically.
they are sponsoring rugby.
Yeah, us and Camden Town Brewery are saving rugby. So get yourself down to Webb Ellis Road, Saturday, 3 p.m. kickoff, 4th of October. Tickets are still available. £5, live show, free pint of Camden. You go into a pub, it's a £5 for a pint.
This is what I've said to the Covskins.
Get
They're
yourself
like,
done.
They're like, Jim, can you get me a free ticket? I was like, lads,
It's a
I know you
£5.
work in a factory. It's a £5. Get on ticketpass.org and get yourself a ticket, lads, and give back to the game. And you're not getting anything for free. £5 will get you a ticket to the... It's all kicking off in the game, let's be honest. And you get a pint and a live show.
Yeah. What more do you want? See you Saturday.
See you Saturday, lads and ladies.
Well, now we're joined by the Prem's Chief Growth Officer, growth. Rob Calder joins us. How are you, Rob?
Chief Growth Officer on LinkedIn. That looks amazing. What does it mean?
What does it mean? Well, my responsibilities are marketing, digital, commercial. So it's a bit of everything. And marketing sometimes a bit of a dirty word in sport.
Why is it dirty?
Because people don't tend to like the sound of marketing in sport, but really what it means is how do we get more eyeballs,
eyes.
more bums on seats, all that sort of thing. That's what we're about.
Yeah.
You've got a bit of history in sport, though, as well, Rob. I mean, we know each other quite well now. And it's great that you're involved with
You got a
Prem
new
Rugby.
friend, James?
Scott, fella Scott.
It's the
Proper
way I
Scott.
said that as he came in. I'm like, Jim will be happy. There's
The
Scott
accent.
coming.
Yeah, I've been
You're
chatting to Rob
English.
quite a lot.
Yeah,
But
I know.
your history in the 100, you were involved, heavily involved with the rebrand of that, which was very successful, I'm right in saying. I had never heard of...
How have you not heard of the 100, Jim?
No, I had heard 100, but
Yeah.
that's what I mean. But I started
can you
seeing more
describe it
stuff.
to me?
Yeah, there's Chris on the front of the jerseys.
That's the marketing sponsor.
I know, but just tell us a little bit about that, because it's not just a case of bringing in some random people into this space. We're genuinely trying to level up with people that have got credentials, have done it before.
Yeah, so I was in cricket for about 7 years, and before that I was in the drinks industry, and so I had a history of working in understanding audiences and growing audiences, and cricket was a similar project to rugby, but not exactly the same. Similar because it was a traditional sport, because there was an opportunity to grow it. There was an opportunity to put a different lens on cricket. And we had significant money from Sky. So we had a broadcast deal for, I think, 5 years. And part of that was a big chunk of money to invest in what became the 100. But the project was about building something different in that space. This is different with the Prem because we've got a brilliant product already, and it's growing. It's really about sort of supercharging that growth.
So tell us a little bit, obviously, about the rebrand and stuff and why it came about. Because I said it earlier, we've dropped the earship. It's just the Prem now, as we've talked about. And we've been calling it the Prem for years, haven't we? But as in the rebrand, what was the reason behind it? Why? Was there a big cost to it? And, what are the advantages of it?
Yeah, was earship worth 100 grand or not? That's what we were trying to work out.
Well, you said it yourselves, right? It's the vernacular. It's what people call it already. And that's what we wanted to do. We didn't want to turn it into the Big Bosh or something like that, which would have not been very credible.
Big Bosh!
Was that one of the names out there on the table?
We considered everything, Jim.
The Big Bosh.
But we got to the Prem because it's what people call it already. And actually, we liked it for a number of reasons. We thought it was more likely that people would call it the Gallagher Prem because it's fewer syllables. But we also felt like the Prem had a bit of the common touch and a bit more sort of punch to it. So we played with a few things, but that's what we liked. And the feedback that we got, we did a lot of research, but the feedback that we got from players in particular was they love the product on the pitch.
Wicked product.
Yeah, they absolutely loved it. They were proud of it. They are proud of it. But what they felt was sometimes the way it was presented was a bit establishment, a bit conservative. And they looked at things like the NRL and they said, that's got personality and real punch to it. And can we have a bit of that? They also wanted to see more physicality, us be proud of more physicality.
Yeah.
Not just physicality, but the athleticism of the athletes as well, the skill under pressure.
See, Rob's looking at me when he says athleticism and not you, James.
No, he's looking at you because the athleticism thing, as in, really?
The game's moved on.
Yeah.
That's right. Yes.
But that's what we heard from fans as well. If you were a rugby fan, you wanted to see more physicality. You wanted to hear, a bit more celebration of the physical nature of the game. And positively, when you go beyond rugby fans into sports fans, that's what they want to see as well. Yeah. So there's a consistency there, which we can lean into.
This has been on the table. I've been talking about this for 6 or 7 years, maybe longer, maybe 10. Why is it only just happening now? Because we've got a big void, haven't we, of people saying they're going to do this, doing that, leaning in, leaning out, not a lot getting done. I think it goes back to that initial thing, Rob, around marketeering, especially in our game. I can say this, mate, I've been there. Nothing gets done. Whereas now it genuinely feels like we are leaning in. You look at the social media, you look at the content, you look at the conversations, the way it's being delivered. Why is it taking so long?
I think we have to have the confidence to know it's the right thing to do. And it's only when you do the work that you know it's the right thing to do. And another aspect to this has been TNT, right? TNT have been involved in this process, this conversation from the start, and they backed the research that we were doing. They backed the conversations that we were having, and they are all in. They've described themselves as all in. And you'll have seen that, the comments from Hugo Monye or Craig Doyle talking about how they're going to present this in a more confident way. So they've been brilliant to work with us throughout this process, and they want to use everything that we've done to make sure that rugby has that point of difference and is not apologetic about what it is. That doesn't mean that we value player welfare. We're world leading in that respect, but rugby is rugby, so let's let it be rugby, and I think we're all aligned on that now.
In rugby, we've got 10 clubs. We've lost a few. And the product is amazing. We've said it on here loads of times. But behind the scenes, a lot of the clubs are struggling for various different reasons. And different clubs are struggling for some finance, some ground, some all the different things that go into it. We need to generate more money for the game, right?
Well, our approach is to make sure that we're attracting investment for the long term.
Yeah.
Right. So we've got this 6-year runway with TNT, and that money is contracted and agreed. But it's actually the longer term. You want to start building the conditions for people to come in to invest in clubs and invest in the league, and that will continue to drive growth. And I have to say, like, the clubs understand the opportunity that exists with telling this story. So they have signed off, our board has signed off a significant amount of more marketing spend to be focused on player content. We're working on that player content at the moment. It's about telling stories, it's about more narrative, it's about more rivalries, and the clubs are fully behind that. That also is being developed in tandem with TNT, so we're dovetailing with them. We're promoting the coverage that they're delivering on a weekend, but we're also bouncing off each other on the social side of things as well. And I don't know if you've seen any of the social content over the last couple of weeks, but we had our biggest ever YouTube weekend last weekend, the Prem Cup weekend, and that's just about more content and more relevant content. Louis Rees-Zammit back, but also there was a bit of handbags at Bath v Exeter, which we put out on social.
Can you say that?
And it
You
flew.
can say handbags.
You can now. You can. We're leaning into that.
We're
In Scotland,
back.
you can say handbags. It's fine.
So that was 2 weeks ago, and then this weekend just gone, we doubled our reach across social. Because we know we just have to generate more. We have to generate more content, and it has to be the right content. And we know if we get that right, it will fly.
And aligned with individual athletes, right? And we know this. You mentioned Lewis Rees-Zammit there. Henry Pollock is the name on everyone's tongue, and looking to have him back for Northampton, the way that he's built his individual brand.
Yeah.
The game's been very uncomfortable. Not us, not me, but I suppose the management and the people who hold the keys to the content side of things have been really uncomfortable to really put individual players into the spotlight. We're seeing Anton Dupont do that for Toulouse in France as he goes over to the US and he's collaborating with different sports. Henry Pollock's probably our first player. Name me another one in the Prem that's done that.
The Gallagher Prem.
The Gallagher Prem. There we go, on brand.
Marcus Smith. I had a picture with Bex the other day, so I mean...
Yeah, now.
I mean, I think Henry Pollock's a great example. And from our perspective, we see our job as building that next generation. So actually, there'll be guys that people haven't heard of yet that we're going to invest in. And I think that's the other point. We're clear about what our role in all this is, right? We want to fund these guys so that in 2 seasons' time, they're ready to go and do their own thing. And a number of these young lads are already approaching the clubs and saying, I want to do a podcast here, or I want to do my own thing over here. And that's the shift. There's always going to be a balance in a team sport like rugby, where you're part of the team, right? We've got to make sure that we don't lose sight of that. But there are individuals who have got the opportunity to grow their profile, and we've got to let that flourish.
You talk about investment in the game, and everyone, we always talk about we need more investment. We need your job, obviously, as head of growth and everything that goes with that. Bums on seats, you can't grow too much in the Prem because they were selling out a lot of stadiums, weren't they? And that is a big work on for some clubs. You take the big games here, there and everywhere to different stadiums. But in terms of growth, where else can the game grow specifically to enable us to not be in a position where we lose other clubs or we're not reliant on one benefactor and it becomes a business that more and more people want to invest in?
I mean, I think attendance is critical, right?
Yeah.
And you're right, we're at 80% average now, but there's more headroom. We'll see a big shift in that because of Newcastle if they keep up this volume of sellouts that they're getting. And then the big games, like we've gone from I think 2 big games originally with Quins, and then Sarries came on board. We're now up to 5 of these big events. We've got 3 of them on one weekend. A new one that Gloucester are playing Tigers at Villa Park.
Yeah.
So there's more of these big games coming on board. So there's more headroom, and sellouts is the currency. Like we've moved from 13 sellouts 3 years ago to 18 to 33 this season, and then last season rather. And then we had 3 sellouts this weekend in the opening weekend. So we need to nudge that up all the time. And that's my focus, is making sure that this product is something you can't get a ticket for. And you want to be there. And if you're watching it on TV, you want to be there as well. And the next step, I think, is probably more of those big events that can help us cut through. And we know that when we get into those big stadia, we get people who are they're probably more generic sports fans, or they might be international rugby fans that are tapping into the club game, and that's what we want. We want more people to come on board.
One of the things around rugby is it's known as or perceived as a posh game, right? There's all this stuff that's been in the press around private schools and it's a posh kids game or whatever. The bedrock of all these lads that are coming through, they've played rugby at school, they've played rugby at their junior rugby clubs, and state schools aren't playing it anywhere near as much as they used to be. How do we support all that sort of process as well?
I think the conversation is changing about that. And certainly what we hear from the RFU is that there is a real desire and a recognition to move the conversation into state schools. And the conversations we've had with the likes of Gallagher, who want to create a legacy in the sport, they are building out from our Project Rugby initiative, which is all going to be about state schools.
Yep.
They're also investing in teaching teachers to be coaches, right? And that's a big barrier because you know yourself that you have to know what you're talking about when you're coaching rugby.
That's why we don't coach. We don't know what we're talking about.
So
giving teachers the confidence to be able to coach.
Can I ask my last uncomfortable question?
Go for it, James.
R360.
Oh, I had that down here. That was my next one.
Has put the shits up a lot of the clubs, but a lot of the players are excited by it, whether or not it happens or not. We can all understand why there's this other thing that's brewing in the background because we've not managed to get everything in order, which we are starting to now. I genuinely believe that, not just because you're here in the studio. I think we are now finally starting to put things in place and we're accelerating quickly. How's that been received?
I think personally, like I like innovation, right? So I can't say I've worked on the 100 and then say I don't believe in innovation. But for me personally, I look at what we've got. I look at the assets that we've got. I look at the clubs. I look at the connections that we've got. I look at the history of the Premiership, then the Prem, and I think it's incredible, right? The 2 most powerful photographs I've seen in the last 2 years were Northampton Saints on the open top bus, and then that incredible drone shot across Bath when they did their own bus tour after the win. And I think that's worth holding on to, and I think it's really worth building. And I think there's more of that to come. We've had 6 different winners in 6 years, and I think it's such a competitive league. You've got Red Bull invested in Newcastle, and I think they will be looking at that sort of connection, that sort of local connection, and saying that's why we came into this game.
Who's your team, Rob?
He's Scottish, so not in the Prem, right?
I'm trying to think. Scott, you had Kelly Brown, Duncan Taylor.
Who would be your team?
Yeah, well, from the Scottish connection, I always liked Bath from the Andy Nicol days.
From Bath, hang on.
Old school. You've got Finn Russell now as well. So.
You can't offer
know,
enough. You
no,
can't
you
talk
know,
innovation and then mention Andy Nicol. He's a big listener of the show, so he'd be happy with that.
Final question from me then is obviously around growth, and everyone talks about growth to lead to more money in the pot and growing the game and everything that goes with it. We can't hide from the finances of the Prem clubs and where they're at when they, obviously the accounts come out and everything that goes with that. How safe are they all? And off the back of that, how long does it take to sort of close that gap for the record losses that we've seen, and when do we, flip it completely with that to say we've got sustainable businesses that aren't reliant on a sole owner or a consortium of owners to fund the deficit?
Yeah, we have the financial monitoring panel, which has been a new initiative in the last few years, and that gives the league visibility across the clubs in a way that it's never had before. And so to be able to have that conversation with the clubs and with owners is a massive step forward. I think to come back to the investment point, we are making the case for investment in this league long term. And the beauty of somebody like Red Bull coming in is you actually see there's more than one reason to invest in a club. So for them it's about brand, right? For them it's about how do I build a connection with this area, and how do I tell a story of a team that was at the bottom of the league, and hopefully they're going to move them up to a much more competitive place. So I think it's about finding what that reason is for people to invest. And I think that's our job now to demonstrate that we've got a vision. Like, we want to be the best league in the world. And I didn't say rugby. That's what drives us. We've got this great product. We just need to make sure that we are telling that story.
Look, we've spent time together. You get it, like absolutely get it. And there's a few people in our sport now that really get it and that are starting to do it. But we've kind of heard it all before. And I know it's happening, but just some reassurance, I suppose, about what's coming round the corner for the Prem.
So I think we want to build this into a league that has a profile globally. Of course we do. Like I said that my the first step of that is making sure we're getting sellouts and making sure we're getting the TV audiences continue to fire, because they're up. Like, TNT's audiences are up 28% year on year. The first round was up 7% versus the first round last year. So every metric that we look at is moving in the right direction. But what do we do next? Well, actually, of course, we want to raise the profile to be, top 14 and beyond. We want people in the Southern Hemisphere to be looking at this league and saying that's the one that I follow. So the world's our oyster, right? What's next is really beyond the UK shores, but exactly how we do that remains to be seen.
Can we get a game in America again? We'll go to Vegas. Can we
Let's
go to
get
Vegas?
our shit in order here first, mate.
Vegas. I want to go to Vegas.
Actually, we'll go to Vegas and do one. But there is an appetite in the US. I know that everyone's looking, the URC are looking over there. But my view is let's get our house in order first.
Precisely, John.
All right, there we look.
Precisely.
Okay, I'm going to get back on LinkedIn.
You've been ranting and raving about how good the NRL is going to Vegas.
Yeah, but they've got their house in order. Okay. So they can do that. They've got their content's good, effectively, off the back of it. Rob, anything else you want to say before you go?
Thank you for having me.
Cheers, mate.
And we'll see you at the Big Game Bonanza, 3 games in one day.
Is that the one in Cardiff? I can't get...
Big Game Bonanza, there's Gloucester, Leicester.
I'll be there. When is it?
At Villa Park.
March.
Is it Villa Park?
Yeah.
Villa Park, yeah.
I'm keen. And we ate Villa because we're from Cov. We ate Villa.
We ate Villa. Sing that.
Yeah.
Support Leicester or Gloucester? Which one are you supporting?
I'll let you know. I don't know. I support rugby. Yeah. Cheers,
rugby.
Rob. Thanks, mate.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Top lad.
Yeah, a lot of work to do. He's doing a lot of work.
And he's doing it.
Yeah.
I can say this.
We just need more money in the game.
We wouldn't have him here genuinely if he wasn't the right person to deliver that message to the fans. They're doing it now. And my frustration has been that genuinely I've been talking about it for 10 years.
Yeah.
But we're at this point now. We're getting the right people in the room. Some clubs are doing it from within. I've mentioned Sarries, people are going to be sick of that. Bristol are doing their thing. The Red Bull, Newcastle Bulls are doing their thing.
I think everyone's leveled up now. Everyone's collaborating's the word.
Not everything. Leicester being left behind.
No, they've improved.
Yeah, they've improved a bit.
That's what I'm saying. Everyone's levelling up from where they were to where they are now, and there's still so much more to do.
Well, what's happening now, it's gone beyond desperate.
Yeah.
And desperate in a way is uncool because now TNT know that we're desperate.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not value.
That's the thing, though. So, and the desperation came out of the financial crisis that every club's found themselves in. So I think the Prem's gone from having all the owners wanting what's just best for them to then actually realising, we won't have anything left if we don't all collaborate. So the collaboration started, but 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years too late. And then now the plans are good, but that's got to continue and grow, right? And everyone's sort of changed their mindset off the back of the desperation of losing 3 clubs and others coming very close to it as well.
Absolutely. No, cool to have him in.
Well, the URC kicked off this weekend, and hopefully you're all watching it on Premier Sports. But if you weren't, you can catch up on everything for free. Get your first month on us, including every URC game, every Investec Champions Cup game, 4 live games from the top 14 each round, La Liga football, Scottish football, and loads more. Just use code RugbyPod when signing up. The offer ends on the 31st of October, so you haven't got long. Get on this today so you can watch last weekend's games and the weekend before's and next week. Basically, loads of rugby, loads of football. Get on Prem Sports.
What happened with Leinster?
Oh, battered. A decent team, 13 internationals, and they got humperdinked 35-0. Worst performance ever, some people are calling it.
Well, all I'm seeing is the top Leinster players
At the NFL.
At the NFL. I know, that's harsh because Kelly Doris is coming back from injury and Bundyacki's at Connacht, so I'm being a bit of a dick there. Well, you said it, not me. But 35-0 down in Cape Town. John Dobson sending me voice notes last week abusing me.
Was he happy?
So I was hoping he would lose. No, but this is before the game, actually. He's a good lad. Dobbo, big shout out to you. But yeah, fair play.
I think I said the Storm was going to do well this year, didn't I?
You did say that.
You're welcome, everyone.
You
and
did.
They go and smash Leinster 35-0. But in reality, with 13 internationals and Leo Cullen, he ain't up there.
No.
He said there's some words that need to be said. They haven't been nilled since, I think it's 2008 in a game, Leinster.
Wowzers.
How'd you get nilled in a game?
By getting dominated up front and scrum time, and you have no foundations. So I don't know. But Leinster were missing their Lions. You mentioned that.
Hold
but
on,
they had
let's name
13
some-
internationals. Let's go. All right then. You
Sam
name them.
Prendergast played, Ryan Baird played, Robbie Henshaw played, O'Brien played.
Stormers had no Springboks either.
Yeah.
So it's not
Okay,
an
so
excuse.
we're not justifying anything. We're just saying it how
Actually,
it was.
hopefully they bounce back because we want to go to Dublin. We'll be going to Dublin soon enough.
Well, the thing is, they've got to bounce back because they've got the Balls
Yeah.
next week, which is not an easy place to go and play.
No.
But this is the thing about the URC: the travel to South Africa. Is it a holiday? Is it
Safari.
whatever it is?
They were basically in Camps Bay too long.
So some of the difficulties surrounding that is actually a positive because you see a Leinster team go down there with a decent team and get the pants pulled down and get nilled. So big shout out to the Stormers.
You were in Glasgow, weren't you?
I was Friday night, and it wasn't cold. Didn't even need a big coat. I was amazed by it. But yeah, I watched and commentated on the Glasgow Warriors beating the Sharks 35-19. Interesting selection at 10. Adam Hastings on the bench, Dan Lancaster starting. Went all right. Like it was a bit of a scrappy game. Roy Darge played well. A lot of knock-ons. A lot of this, a lot of that. Dan Lancaster played all right. I like Adam Hastings, though.
Yeah, I do. His injury profile isn't great. Wicked lad. He presented his jersey after
Great
the game
teeth
as
on him.
well.
Yeah, great teeth
but they're
on him.
not his. They're from the Ivory Coast.
But yeah, Glasgow did enough. They're pretty formidable at times at Scotstoun.
Decent atmosphere.
Yeah, it's good actually.
Yeah, it's
very
good in
very
Glasgow.
busy. They had some good food trucks there that I got stuck into. I was quite surprised. I don't know why they like me there. It's because I've invested in the community.
You have, Andrew.
A lot in that community. But yeah, it was good. The game wasn't great, but Glasgow did enough. Staff McDowell played well, and it was a comfortable win.
Can Lancaster play for Scotland?
Probably.
I
read he's Scottish qualified.
Yeah, apparently.
Just say he is. Just say he
well,
is.
apparently so. Who knows?
Yeah. But yeah, I'd still rate Hastings above him. But it was a good start for him, and it was good. There's a feel good factor there now because obviously Franco Schmidt is it Schmidt or Smith?
However you want to call it. I
Yeah.
think.
Well, his son was on the bench for the Sharks and came on. But he, the fact that he signed his extended deal now, there's all that chat last year, wasn't there, around?
Yeah.
And it's a difficult moment for Glasgow because they've lost a load of players that have gone. Cancellieri's gone, a few others. Venter.
Tom Jordan.
Yeah. Tom Jordan, that's a big one.
Yeah.
But they look good.
They've got some good players. You think so? You mentioned Rory
Just
Darge.
squad depth
I know.
isn't as big as it was. And when you talk about URC and Champions Cup.
Yeah, well, that's the difficult thing, isn't it? But Xander Ferguson, British and Irish line, coming back from
Jack
injury.
Dempsey was meant to play but pulled out in the warm-up.
But he's due to come back.
He was due, but he
Oh, yeah,
pulled out
okay,
in the
so he's
warm-up,
back, yeah, because, if he didn't get injured, would have been a shout for
But
the
they
Lions.
brought the Lions, some of their Lions players off the bench.
Yeah.
3 Lions players off the bench. Scott Cummins, Sutherland, and Gregor Brown, James. They came off the bench, made a difference. But you think of the players they've lost, but they've still got quality players there. Hugh Jones, Tuipulotu. So when on paper, they're horny at 9. Good team.
Good player. I tell you who's a dark horse.
Go on.
Connor.
With Daddy Lancaster.
With Daddy Lancaster there, and new stadium, and investment and interest in Connor. I think Stuart Lancaster's the right man to bring that team good. Whatever good means.
Yeah.
But just hearing a few whispers, but they...
Is it less wind there?
Well, it can't be any windier. I'll tell you now, but it's proper down in the west of Ireland.
I love it there.
Connor is
Hell of a night out after.
really good. Anyone who goes there absolutely loves it, don't they? So you chat to Mac.
Yeah.
Hanson loves it down there.
Yeah.
Bundyaki, is he going to Newcastle?
It'll blow your powder off your head, though.
Can you see the powder?
No.
Or not? There you go. But a big win for them, defeating Benetton 26 points to 15.
Interesting.
Well.
He talked about Southern Ireland and down that way. They weren't there because Munster were down in Wales. But Munster, that's a good win.
Yeah.
And the best bit about it was Craig Casey absolutely rinsing Simon Zebo, saying they got rid of the deadwood when you left, pal. Did you see that interview?
Yeah.
That's quite good. They played some sharp stuff. Clayton McMillan's first game as Munster boss, beating the Scarlets. And the fans in the Scarlets, they ain't happy. Did you see them protest through the streets
I did see the throw
of Llanelli?
It's tough. I saw Dwayne Peel's interview in the lead up before. Every club now in Wales is fighting for their lives and their existence and saying why they shouldn't go. I saw the interview with some of the Cardiff players as
I had
well.
a great debate over the weekend about Welsh rugby. Basically saying if you drop it to 2 teams, we're fucked forever. Because you're basically taking any pathway out. And so I can't remember who it was, and I said to me, if you put Cardiff and the Ospreys together, or you put the Dragons and Scarlets together, or however it works out, you still ain't winning anything with that. So you need to be able to produce and invest in the youth and the club game and the schools. And like we've spoken about, you need to invest in those structures, academy structures, to bring players through, not just bin off players and then there's no pathway.
Yeah, but I was chatting to Sam Warburton about it. And
This lad said, well, basically Tom Shanklin said Wolves is wrong.
But businessman Shanks, well, he's got a hospitality business,
Yeah.
so it's not for us to talk about business, but, they're all fighting for their lives.
Yeah.
And the confusion of not knowing what's going on must be difficult. It's difficult enough being a rugby player, being out of contract, but if you're about to lose a club, so a real shame. And the fact they got beat so at home by Munster is not good.
Good news for Welsh clubs, though. Cardiff won. They beat the Lions, even with the most ludicrous red card I've ever seen. See that? Ben Thomas's red card. Clears out Nico Stain for the Lions. He's got nowhere to go. Clears him out. Nico Stain with the biggest dive you've ever... Hollywood, they're calling him. It was embarrassing. And he gets a red card. 20-minute red. But ludicrous. But Cardiff bounced back, lost their coach, obviously Matt Sherratt, just before the season starts, but had a good win over the Lions on opening Saturday evening.
Yeah.
Ulster won.
Yeah, against the Drags.
Mate, the Drags scored after 10 seconds. I was like, oh, wow. Did you see it? Straight from the kickoff. And then the Drags were the Drags.
We'll leave it there. Let's speed over the Edinburgh result as well.
No, we need to talk about that, James.
I tell you now, you talk about investment, you talk about all of these things. Italian rugby, I know Benetton lost to Connacht. Tough place to go and play it outside. Dark horses, Connacht are. But Zebra, good win against Edinburgh.
Last kick of the game. I'm going to mention it later.
Yeah, Edinburgh. There's just a bit of a soft underbelly, unfortunately.
You're saying they're soft? How did that half
We'll
decent
find out
team
against Ulster this week.
Yeah. Is that home?
It's at home. It's at the Hive, yeah.
You going done?
Might take JJ. No, I'm not. Yeah, I am. Maybe. Depends when I leave to come down to rugby. Now, it is time for the Goode, the bad.
Sponsored by?
No.
No, Moreland Goo, not yet.
No, moving the man, building the house. Everything's all over the place at the minute.
Okay, we'll let it go. We're going to start off with James Slipper. Gets a shout in the Goo this week. 150th Test match at the weekend against the All Blacks. First Australian to ever get to 150 caps.
First Australian to follow me as well at the weekend.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go. What a ledge. So big shout out to James Slipper.
Slipper. Favourite name.
Do you reckon he got slippered?
Definitely got slippered.
There's a game this week.
Definitely got slippered.
Yeah, there we go. Big shout as well go to Chile, who beat Samoa 31-12 in Vina del Mar to qualify for the World Cup in Australia in 2027. What else was good? The Prem and the URC back with a bang. Few shout outs. The main one really is to Zebra and Martin Roger Ferret.
Oh, Roger Mijo Dodger.
Yeah. He kicked the winner for Zebra on debut as well against Edinburgh. So big shout out to Zebra. Cardiff beat the Lions. Stormers dismantled Leinster. Munsters away when it's Scarlets was pretty good. Over in the Prem, big wins for Sarries, Sale, Bristols and Bath. Over in the top 14, Poe. Second in the top 14,
I did
James.
see something about Poe. Who's there at Poe?
Dan Robson.
Yes, I know Dan Robson's there.
Sam Simmons.
Yes.
A couple of others.
Yeah, there's a couple of others there that stand out. I'll come back to you on that.
Yeah, anyway, they beat Leon, who were unbeaten, in the top 14 to go second. So big shout out to all the Pooh boys. Bath stadium plans. They got the green light from the government. So, well done to them as well. Good news.
Who's the Poe lad?
At the Sogby.
At a Sogby.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
Oh,
you
the
go.
winger, yeah.
That's who I saw because he scored.
At Sogby.
Bang,
Wheels.
knew it.
But the Goode this week goes to Sacha Feinberg-Mngomezulu, breaking the South African record of Percy Montgomery. He scored 37 points against Argentina, hat-trick, loads of kicks, worldy performance. And that's why Sacha Feinberg-Mngomezulu gets the Goode this week.
I loved Percy Montgomery.
Yeah.
Of course I did.
Played at the Drags.
He played, of course he did.
Played at the Drags,
Imagine
man.
how loose he was there. Mate, they were unreal, the Sharks, when he was playing. Mark Andrews in the second row. Venter in the back row.
Bad few bits of bad. Argentina's second half performance, pretty bad. Conceded 42 points. They lost it 42-7 the second half. And conceded 67 overall, so not great. Australia get mentioned the bad this week. They weren't too bad, but just because it's 22 years since
Well, they're good now, aren't they? So we can put them in the
they've
back.
won the Bledisloe for 22 years, so we'll just rub salt into the wounds a little bit. So that's why you get mentioned the bad. They can't win it now because New Zealand beat them. Only a 2-match series. So if you win one and you own it, you retain it. Like the Ryder. How good was the Ryder Cup? I spent a lot of this weekend watching that. No, didn't feel it.
I don't, in no time.
Okay. Saints second half capitulation, 33-7 up at half time. They scored no points and lost the second half 26 points to 0 to Exeter. But the bad this week, I don't know when I've ever said this. I haven't said it for a long time if I have said it, but the bad this week goes to Leinster, getting hosed, as we spoke about, 35-0 by the Stormers, had 13 internationals and were held scoreless for the first time in 17 years. So Leinster, I should say, I ain't saying sorry. I'm still coming to Dublin for Guinness and Blackcurrant. But that's why Leinster win the bad.
Yeah.
And then the ugly, 3 bits of ugly. We're going to start off in Italy. Giovanni Licata, who was playing for Zebra, shoulder to the head of Ewan Ashman. You don't do that to your Scottish hooker, do you?
No, he's got a thistle on his arm as well.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what did it.
Exactly. Anyway, he got a red card for that. Josh Hodge, red card for his head-on-head collision on Sam Graham. But the ugly this week is won comfortably by Nathan Michelot, whose tip tackle on George McGuigan should have been a straight red. Worst tackle I've seen in donkey's years. And it's going to be a big ban, I feel.
Don't do that to my George McGuigan.
No, you do not.
Skipper.
Shout-outs to finish.
As always, a load of shout-outs. Last week, Ron Payne took to the field of Prince's Risborough.
It's near me.
Posh then, RUFC, age 48, same age as you, with a 17-year-old son, same age as me, Jacob. So they ran out for the first time together. It's been his dream since having kids to share the field with one of them. So a real brandy and cigar moment for both of them.
Nice.
If you can smoke, yeah, you can do that at 17. You can't drink at 17.
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't have a cigar at
Well,
17, can you? Maybe
yeah,
you
you can. You get at 16. Yeah. So he's got the cigar. The young lad, Jacob has,
And the dad's got the brandy.
and he's got the brandy.
I wonder how his back was in the morning. 48 years of age. Fair play.
That is cool. Like, I always thought, like when I saw again Owen and Andy Farrell doing their stuff together.
You want to play with JJ?
It'd
It'd
be cool.
fill
It
you
would be
in.
cool. Like,
It
I
would
love
be.
them connection to father and son.
It is ridiculous.
Yeah, big shout out.
Also need to give a big shout out to Jack Bush Kelly. Apparently he's got the biggest bush you've ever seen. He recently had a baby.
Don't know how. If he's had a big bush, but anyway.
It just grew out over the pregnancy, I think.
Oh gosh. Yeah, you get comfortable, don't you?
Yeah, apparently young Finn is destined for the second row and will no doubt have size 16s and be primed for mauling and brawling. So congrats to Jack and Alice. We'll keep an eye out for young Finn Kelly and sort your bush out.
Got another one to Andrew Peterson. He needs a shout out. He needs one, and he's Scottish, so you get him one. And he's 58 years old, and he's a referee. Last year, he cycled from Paris to Istanbul. This year, he's done the Silk Road Mountain Race, considered to be the hardest endurance bike race in the world through the mountains of Kazakhstan. Hello, how are
Yes,
you
boys.
on the bike?
Action mash.
Well,
Yes,
he has
boys.
raised an incredible £30,000. So well done, Andrew. And hopefully that fundraising total just keeps going up.
High five.
I like.
Oh, do you reckon he met Borat?
Well, if not, he's listened to him now because Borat's just done the shout out.
There you go. And last one from us, a quick and massive mention to BOKs Super Rugby, who we've partnered with to bring you their try of the week for the whole season. An incredibly underrated competition that deserves more exposure. So we're going to give it to the students. Maybe we do a tour of the campuses around the country.
Andrew,
Go and watch a few games.
I am
Get on the
42
fucking snake
years
bites.
old.
Get on the snake bites. Go down to like some student unions and
I am 42
I'm 45.
years old.
I'm
Send us
45.
location. All right, where are we going first?
yeah, but we're going to be following it all year. We're going to be highlighting some unbelievable tries.
Exposing
Yes.
some good play
Yeah, be
and
careful what
tries.
you expose on campus.
Yeah,
First one was Loughborough Uni as well, wasn't it?
Was
First
it?
one we did, yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I was at Loughborough Uni for a bit.
No,
and
you
Birmingham
weren't,
Uni.
James.
I promise you now, I stayed on campus for about 6 months.
Well, you went.
Were you enrolled onto a course?
Yes,
No.
and I stole probably 4 fire extinguishers. Have you seen the amount of
Loughborough.
smoke that a fire extinguisher produces?
You did not go to Loughborough Uni.
For 6 months, yeah.
Studying
I
what?
lived with Vesti.
Studying
Whatever
what?
Sam Vesti was studying, I was studying. Yeah, we were studying physiology.
No, you lie.
And I was at Birmingham Uni, and it was loose as well.
How'd you go to 2 unis? Did you pay your university tuition
No,
fees?
but I stayed in student accommodation.
You don't want to admit this on podcasts.
Rite of passage is all I'm saying.
Cheers, lads.
Cheers, Rob. There's James.
Yeah, so thank you, lads. Ben's in the studio, been on his phone the whole time, but that's fine.
Sweaty hands over there.
It is.
I think
Sweaty
he caught
palms.
he caught something at the weekend. I
Slug
think.
hands.
Yeah.
You got slug hands, even though slugs don't have hands, but if they did, that's what they would feel like, Ben. A big shout out to all the listeners. As always, we're just getting started again. Here we go. And we appreciate every single one of you. Rugby Spot.
Spotted pod.